Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well this morning. Um, I'm a little frazzled, gotta be honest. My headspace isn't terrible, but it's not the greatest. I'm feeling a little frustrated, having a hard time shifting, having a hard time adjusting to all the newness that our family is experiencing. It's not really bad newness, it's just newness. It's a change in routine, it's a shift in schedules. I do my best to try to give myself a little bit of space to have that discomfort. Typically, I give myself a solid 3 weeks before I am expected to feel comfortable or get it together. So that way I don't judge myself too harshly for not having it together or feeling the discomfort in that shift. So that kind of brought me to today's topic. I wanted to talk about positive self-talk again. However, I wanted to get a little bit more detail about it. I wanted to get a little bit more juicy about it. A lot of times we do not know what that looks like. So it's easy to say, have good self-talk. Be nice to yourself. Talk to yourself well. Say things that are kind. But if we don't really know what that looks like, how do we do that? A lot of times those thoughts, those beliefs are so habitual. It's hard to even stop yourself from thinking what it is you're thinking, or maybe even acknowledge what you're thinking. So today I kind of wanted to go into a little bit more detail about how I have made that shift, that change. And so this has been years for me personally. I used to have really terrible self-talk, and I still do sometimes. It's significantly better than it used to be. Significantly better than it used to be. But I still have times and moments where I judge myself harshly, and it's just nasty. Honestly, it's nasty. And without going into detail of where that comes from, for this topic, it's irrelevant where it comes from. I would like to address, what do we do about it? How do we start acknowledging how we're talking to ourselves? How do we change that? The biggest motivator for me, I'm a mom, and so the biggest motivator for me was when I heard this saying, if you don't do it for you, do it for your daughter's mother. And I don't know what it was about that, but that was where it hit me in the feels. I heard that and I was like, oh, okay. I'm very, very motivated by my girls are watching me. I'm very motivated by they're learning how to love themselves or hate themselves based off of what they see from me. And that I didn't want to do it for me. I didn't feel like I deserved it. I didn't feel like I had the self-worth to talk good about myself, that I would be cocky or that I would be a showboat. I don't know, all of those things I guess you tell yourself when you don't want to build yourself up. But when I heard do it for your daughter's mother, I was like, boom, okay, all right, I'll start doing this. And like I said, it's taken years to get there, but I always ground myself in that thought. When I go to work on myself, I might not feel worthy in the moment, but I know that my girls are always watching, and I want them to feel better about themselves than I grew up feeling about myself. And so what that looks like on a practical level for me. So let's say I'm having a bad day and I'm not being nice to myself in my head, in my thoughts. It might not even be out loud. It might not be to anyone in my family. It might just be to myself in my own head. I feel it in my body. The same way if someone was standing in front of me, shaming me, or chastising me, or putting me down, it feels the same, even if it's coming from my own mind and my own head. So that's one of the first things I can recognize is like, I'm feeling low. Wow, why? Why am I feeling low? And so I take it that a step further, and I'm like, okay, what are the things I'm thinking? What am I feeling? So I spend some time there, usually quiet and alone, maybe in a journal. I might write it, just to investigate and let any thoughts that come up, let them come up, let them come out. If you are journaling, if you are writing, let them come out. Because you can't really address something if you don't know it's there. If you don't know it's not there, you can't address it. And eventually over the years that has become habitual. I can usually do that in my head and kind of navigate that in my mind. I don't have to write it down all the time now because I've practiced. Sometimes I still do because there's just a lot going on in my mind, so I need to write it down. But I always ground back to, would I say these things that I'm saying about myself to my daughters? Absolutely not. And the disgust that I feel for thinking about saying that to my daughters or about someone else saying it to my daughters grounds me in how nasty that thought was. And I mean, and this could work if you're not a mom, if you're not a parent. You could just think of someone you care about, someone you love very deeply, or someone that loves you very deeply. Would they ever say that about you? No, they wouldn't. Would you ever say that to someone you love with all of your heart? Unconditionally. I'm going to answer that for you. Nope. No, you wouldn't. They wouldn't. They wouldn't say it to you, you wouldn't say it to them. That has become my moral barometer, I guess, for how I talk to myself, how I treat myself. At the end of the day, if I'm thinking, okay, I don't feel comfortable using an example from my life. It feels a little bit too personal since I'm not in the greatest of headspace right now. But let's say, for example, my hair. This is an example from my life. This morning I was like, dang girl, you need to do something with this rag right before I'm filming. Would I ever say that to my kid? Would I ever be serious and tell her, your hair needs work? I might say, maybe we should brush our hair. Maybe we should, get it washed. Let's do it nice. But would you really be judgmental? And that's a mild example, but would you really be that judgmental and shame your child or someone you love because they're having a bad hair day? It's just not nice. What's another example? I don't know. Sometimes maybe if I mess something up or like I have a reaction, if I'm having a bad day and someone has been on my nerves and I snap at them and maybe I'm a little bit too loud or I'm a little bit too I don't have the patience that I want to have. I will sometimes shame myself for that. I'll think things like, wow, what a great mom. Good moms don't do that. That's not what sweet moms do. Would I ever say that to my kid for making a mistake? Or someone I love? Would I say that to my husband for making a mistake? Wow, you blew it. You're a terrible human. No, we wouldn't. And so that's really all I have for today is just a glimpse into my world of how I handle self-talk and positive self-talk and how I use kind of that to ground myself in moments of, even when I'm sad or when I'm down or when I'm low, that will still keep me very grounded in what is nice to say to myself and what is not. Even if what I say to myself feels true, I know whether it's true or not, it's not nice if I would not say that to somebody that I love. And so I hope that this little nugget can help. I hope that sharing my experience with you can at least get you thinking about your own, maybe. At best, maybe it can help you through something today or this week. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye-bye.